the team that's riding high at the moment, Roscommon. They go up against Armagh next in Dr. Hyde Park. And I actually think this is a mouth-watering clash between these two, because Armagh, I have to say, at the start of the league, I tipped Armagh to win it. And the reason is because I thought Kerry don't have the Cliffords at the start. They don't have Shawnee O'Shea at the start. They look a bit further off this year from where they were last year. And I was saying Dublin aren't in Division 1 anymore, obviously, as we know. Tyrone, we don't know what's going on with them. Mayo are under new management. I was saying Armagh are the only team to me that looks at 100% strength, ready to go. And I'm saying Kieran McGeeney has been in the job since 2015. He would love nothing more than to have a bit of silverware in the cabinet, to mark his tenure with this Armagh team. Because it's been a long one now. It's been a long one that he's been there as Armagh boss. They haven't even gotten to an Ulster final. So he wants to add some silverware, no doubt. They start off the league by beating Monaghan. And I was thinking, okay, good start. For long spells against Mayo, Mayo looked like they had them. And then they've managed to fight back and get the draw. But having seen how Mayo got a hold of them for so long in that game, I'm not as confident in my prediction.
Yeah, Armagh are one of these teams that I love watching. I think this game is actually could be the best game of the weekend, even though there's so many good games that are going to be on TV. And even I know we're talking about Kerry and Mayo, but I think this one actually might even be a better one, depending on how we go. Mm-hmm. Armagh are a team that there's someone who just needs to find that bit of consistency. They can play on real football. They can play class football, but the issue is finding that consistency. It's similar to Roscommon, but we'll get to them. But I feel that they have Ethan Rafferty in goals, who obviously is very exciting to watch, see him coming out and getting a few scores and giving lovely balls in. Rian O'Neill in the full forward, Stephen Campbell in the midfield. They have these kind of very, very good players in their panel. They just need to find that bit of consistency. I think they could be a top team and consistently be a top team. But before you need to do that, not one game you play class and the next game you play really badly. You need to do that for your 60 or 70 minutes. Never mind having each game need to be consistent. You need to be consistent for that one game, because they look unreal. And then exactly what happened in Mayo, or what happened in Armagh against Mayo, was that, foot off the throttle. And I was the same. I was like, this game's over. Mayo has this one. And then all of a sudden they pick back up, and the kind of the craziness of Mayo and the craziness of Armagh, that's maybe one of the things, because both of them can be a bit intense.
Both of them never do it easy, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the other thing. Armagh were, I know they got 17 points against Mayo, and they were kicking some lovely scores, but then struggling sometimes to take the easy options. Sometimes, so it really is finding that bit of consistency. But they are a team that I really like to watch, and they're really fun, and their fans, seeing the sea of orange kind of in the stadiums is also very enjoyable.
Yeah, no, there's a unique feel to Armagh, no doubt. The orange jerseys and just their teams of the 2000s, and the confidence that they had, and the confidence that this team has carried into this team with the likes of Ryan O'Neill, that kind of, not in a bad way, but I get this vibe off the likes of Ryan O'Neill that he knows he's good. He knows how good he is, and they take on the most audacious shots. That shot that he took on against Dublin, if you remember, the one where he was right underneath the Hogan stand, and he took on a shot from right on the sideline and just swung it over, no bother to him. I like watching those types of teams. I do. I like watching Rafferty come out a goal and score 2 points from open play against Tyrone. Would never have thought that you would have seen that, in 2010, 2011, when Cluxton taking frees was something that was a bit, what's the goalkeeper doing here? But Armagh definitely are innovating it in one way. I didn't give enough credit to Roscommon in my intro to this game. They have started the league with a bang. Davy Burke coming in, I have to say, was a managerial appointment that I liked right from the start. You're bringing in someone that doesn't deserve the credit. No, sorry, isn't getting the credit that he deserves. And when you look at what he did with Kildare under-20s All-Ireland winner, Wicklow got them up to Division 3, and he was making real progress with them. And then, the success that he's had with colleges and stuff like that. Davy Burke is a very good appointment. Comes in, and I had no doubt that he was going to be determined to stop the yo-yo effect with Roscommon of going up as champions and going straight back down to Division 2 the year after. And to beat Tyrone and to beat Galway back-to-back, hugely impressive. To beat Galway away.
Yeah, I really like Davy Burke, but probably there's a bit of experience there, as in back when I was home back in Ireland during COVID times, my home football club, we actually got Davy Burke in to take a few sessions and to come to a few of the senior games. I wasn't on the senior team, but we got him to take a few training sessions, and there was around 50 lads on the pitch, including myself. And for a good, I'd say 15 or 20 minutes, he just put a little square and one person with a football and one person not, and see using your body physically and tackling. And the intensity he brought, and he had all these 50 lads clinging on to every single one of his words. I thought that this lad was one of the best trainers I've ever had, and in hurling our football, and he only came in for a few sessions. But as soon as I saw that for Roscommon, I saw that this is when he was with Wicklow. I'm from near the Meath Kildare border, so it wasn't too far for him to come. If he was coming from Maynooth, I think it is. But then he got snubbed from the Kildare job, and when I heard, this was after that, but when I heard, Jesus, this lad seems very, very good. And then he went to Roscommon, and it's obviously, I feel he's having the same effect of that Roscommon team that he did in my home club with the 50 lads on the pitch, that all these lads are really believing what he's into and exactly buying into everything. And rightly so. I think, like, you see it. You see the first two wins. They're top of the table. Like, they're after having some serious wins here now. And I like seeing them going. They're similar to Armagh in terms of they needing that consistency. What you said, their yo-yo situation. You know, it's all well and good getting up to Division 1, but if you want to compete with the big boys, if you want to be in there, getting to the All-Ireland quarter-final, semi-final, and even go on further, you need to be consistently staying up in Division 1. There's no point, because when you get relegated, you see the likes of Kildare getting relegated at the moment. You know, they go down and kind of everything hits the fan. So I feel like this could be this and keep this consistency up. And all of a sudden, we were looking at the Connacht side of the three teams in the championship. You were thinking, okay, it's rather going to be Galway or Mayo, but now there's definitely no reason at the moment where you could say it's rather going to be Galway, Mayo, or Roscommon that are going to get to the Connacht final.
Agreed. I mean, you look at, and on top of that, with Davy Burke, he's already rooted out a few gems. I mean, the likes of Dara Craig, we all knew Dara Craig was going to come through, but the main one for me is Ben O'Carroll. He's been so impressive in the first two games.
Yeah, like it seems like a real team effort, but then also getting those individuals out and trying to, because they have a good pool of talent, Roscommon. They've always had sometimes, like, you know, but it's about utilizing them and getting them to step up the most. You know, so that's how I see it. And I feel Davy could be a good man that would individually go to these lads in he'd be a good team manager, but individually kind of getting these lads and having a plan for them and saying, this is what I want you for, and this is what I need you for, and you can do it. Kind of, you know, he seems like a very positive person to me, that he wants that, like, when it comes to face-to-face people anyway, and the way he talks. So yeah, 100%.
No doubt. So decision time going into this game, obviously Roscommon against Armagh, two sides that it's fair to say have been on the come up. Roscommon now have made a real burst. Armagh, you could argue, a little bit more established in terms of this particular team. Definitely McGeeney has had his feet under the table way longer than Davy Burke has with Roscommon. Who are we backing here? This is a really, really hard one to call.
The fact that it's in Dr. Hyde Park, I think, is massive. I think the wind in that place, and there will be a good crowd going to it. I think a lot of people are going to be excited. There's going to be a lot of Roscommon. There'll be a good few Armagh going as well. I think this is going to be a great atmosphere to the game, but I am going to go with Roscommon, but only slightly, only just about to beat, because Armagh, if Armagh can get that consistency throughout the whole game, well, then Armagh is going to win. But I feel like there are going to be stages, like as we've seen in the Mayo game, where they kind of take the foot off the pedal, and I think Roscommon will have no problem, and they'll know that could happen after seeing the Mayo game, and it's like, okay, this is our time now to properly go for it, and then maybe there mightn't be a time to come back like there was against Mayo for Armagh. So I do think Roscommon, but just slightly.
Yeah, it's a really difficult one to call. I have to say, I picked Galway to beat them. I thought Galway would get the job done. I don't want to make the same mistake again and back against them. I really don't. But Armagh just are so good going forward. It's such a hard one to look past Armagh. Do you know what? I'm going to go with a draw. I'm going to go with a very entertaining, very back and forth draw. I'm going to go with a game where both teams could win. But I'm going to say a late point from either Roscommon or Armagh will tie it up. Sit right on the fence for that one.